When you're working with wild animals in general, one of the things that wildlife veterinarians joke about is like the joy you feel when you've had a really sick patient on that first day that they try to kill you. That's how you know they're getting better. And you're looking forward to that day because that's the day when you know, like, they've still got the fight in them. They're going to pull through this. So.
In order to run the sanctuary, it takes a huge amount of dedication from an incredibly committed, passionate team. It's hard work. We have 210 animals. We operate a 175-acre site. We have around 12 members of staff to run all of that. The labor is physical, it's emotional. It's a lot. And you know, our team come and they do this 365 days a year. The level of detail that goes into this work, how to get this monkey a particular medication and convince them to take it. Each monkey has the food that they like or they don't like, or they've got a health condition that means they've got to have a particular diet. All of it is catered for by the team. They have that level of commitment to provide really individualized care. It's hard work. It's hard physical work. It's hard emotional work. It's not a job that you go home in the evening and you switch off. Our team are in it in a very, very real way. And they're just some of the most compassionate, caring people I've ever met in my life.
The Born Free Primate Sanctuary is one of the largest in the country. We have about 175 acres, and we have more than 200 monkeys. They've come from laboratories, they've come from the pet trade, roadside zoos, and other exploitive and abusive situations. Because of how they've been treated in the past, they can never return to the wild. And we need to give them the best home that we can, and that's our job. That is our only job.
Good job, honey.
Protecting wild animals, protecting any animal, is profoundly important because they are sentient beings. They have feelings, they have families, and they deserve to live. They deserve to live without exploitation. That is the reason, it's the only reason. It's because they deserve it, and they don't have a voice of their own. We have to be their voice.
Well, I call them people, and I don't even think about it. They are people to me. They're all so different. There's Billy, Pushkin, Harriet, Haley, Gollum. There's Archie, Lewis, Ricky, Buddy, Elvis, Dane, Louie, Kiki, Pablito, Wally, Marlin, Elfman, Blue, Sissy, Mikey, Felix, Zeus, Monet, Lucy, Esther, Hitch, Tidbit, Professor, Violet, Presley, Onlight, Cabin, Badger,
In veterinary school, they teach us a heck of a lot more about dogs and cats and horses and cattle than they do about monkeys. Okay, Hitch, you're allowed to come out now. Hitch is a little old man. He came from laboratory research. He was an ex-research animal. He's got a lot of arthritis and gets daily meds for that. This is Oscar. He lives in here with Creed. They're really tightly bonded together. They also retired from laboratory research together. Clearly their research group of monkeys had some sort of an office theme with their names. Presumably if there's an Oscar and a Creed, there's bound to have been a Dwight and Michael Scott and Pam. But they at least didn't make it to here. Hopefully they retired to some other sanctuary, but it's hard to say. Yeah, they're really sweet boys.
You're making a very clear choice when you go down this path of caring for animals that, yeah, you're going to have your heart broken time and time and time again, and you are going to work really, really hard while doing it.
Every morning, the caregivers start their day by making all of the medications for the animals. Some monkeys are better at detecting the slightest hint of medications than others, and we have to go through these really elaborate steps to get some of these meds hidden for some of these monkeys.
The medication, the feeding, and the cleaning is our entire morning from 7 a.m. until noon. And then after that, we're prepping food for the next day. It's an all-day event, and it's all just to take care of them.
That was the sweetest little squeak. As the veterinarian, I am the least liked person at this place. All of the monkeys have some level of distrust for me, and quite a few of them loathe me. But I'm not here to be their best friends. I'm here to make sure they're healthy and comfortable.
Dr. J has saved a lot of lives in her time here. We'll get them on the table, and then it'll be like, wow, if we hadn't acted now, then down the line, this would have turned into something bad.
So on a typical morning, I wake up about 4:50 in the morning and drive about an hour and a half to get here. But yeah, I commute back and forth every single day, but the monkeys are worth it.
We have a clinic which is functional, but quite a long way past its useful life now.
I'm doing my best to make do with the tools that I've got. Our clinic light is not great. Our anesthesia machine is pretty old. Better equipment would be hugely beneficial for the monkeys. Right now, this table serves for everything, but it's what we've got. It's what we have to use.
Yeah, our vet here performs miracles.
We make do as best we can.
Billy was confiscated from a hoarding situation. There was a person who had a lot of animals in really bad conditions. Billy was in like a dog crate. She was confiscated and brought to us. We've been looking after her for probably 9 or 10 years now.
When we bring a monkey into the sanctuary, they stay with us. We're committing to them for the rest of their life. So that could be, 30 odd years.
Humans chose to breed monkeys to create those new lives. Humans chose to purchase those babies and bring them into their homes. It's our responsibility as humans to step up and make up for that.
We are committed to this fight to end the trade that brought them here.
There are monkeys here that I have known for over a decade now. And I mean, we do have very close relationships, and they know me and they trust me, and I know them, I understand them. It's a really special bond. And, I know that that's what people are looking for when they want them as pets. They want that intelligence and that almost like having a child. But it's really not the same thing. It's not how they're meant to be living, and it really does affect them badly.
Primates cannot thrive in captivity.
The monkeys are here because of things that humans did to them.
These animals are not meant to be here.
The most difficult part of this job is definitely making end-of-life decisions. As a sanctuary, we're here for these monkeys until the end.
The sanctuary does not run without the rest of Born Free, without our supporters.
We have the ability to give them acres of land where they can run around with real trees and bugs they can chase and eat. And that's more space than they've ever had in their lives.
We try to provide the absolute best possible life we can with the biggest complex social groups, with the biggest living spaces.
We're here putting in the hard work to do our best for these animals and give them as close to a wildlife as they can possibly live.
If there are no primates being mistreated, our work won't be necessary.
It would be amazing if animals weren't going through the kind of trauma that these guys are going through.
We are making a promise to care for them for the rest of their life. Someone has to give them a voice, and somebody has to care for them when others have failed them before, and we're here to do that.
In the ideal world, every one of these monkeys would have been born in the wild, lived their whole life in the wild, or never had to live in captivity at all. Their life in the wild was literally stolen from them. I think we definitely owe it to them to give them the best years that we can for the remainder of their life. Here we go. Good girl. Someday I very much hope to be out of a job. But as long as the primate pet trade exists, there will be a continued cycle of trauma.
Every good sanctuary should have as its goal to close its doors. Our aim ultimately is to not be here anymore. We don't open to the public. We're not a zoo. We don't display them. We don't exhibit them. We are focused on their care. So what that means is our donors are so selfless because they don't get to necessarily see the animals that they're supporting. But I want them to know that they are absolutely changing lives. We can't do any of this without our donors. None of this happens. Lila doesn't get rescued. Zaimiri doesn't get rescued. Pablito doesn't get rescued. These 210 monkeys, they're not here. I hope they feel that they are doing a huge service for these animals, because they really are. They're changing their lives beyond any recognition.
These are the baby girls. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. They are currently going through their 4-week quarantine period. They should very much still be with their mothers, but luckily they at least have each other.